All right. So Miss Ladybug. Ladybug came from the San Antonio Animal Shelter. And I remember getting an email from the shelter with her photo. And she had this, what looked like a cast on that had slightly slipped down, and you can see just the carnage of what was left of her arm.
They actually wrote TNT on it.
Yeah. And I remember looking at this photo and being like, oh, I have not seen something like this before. Like just, and how the shelter hadn't already removed that arm. But I understand now because that was the first time that we'd ever dealt with that. There was an animal control officer that was following our rescue at the time. And he was the one that actually picked up Lady from the situation, right?
Yep.
And he sent us a message and was like, hey, we just processed this dog. And we're looking at the email already of this dog. And he was kind enough, because we were trying to figure out transport. Like, look, we want to tag this
like,
dog.
look, this dog's going to get euthanized because we don't have the capacity to care for this.
Yeah.
Can you guys help? And we were trying to figure out a way to get out there. And he was awesome enough to be like, I'll start driving now. I will meet you halfway and get this dog to you.
I think we met somewhere in like Waco.
Yeah.
And
we get Lady out of the car. And you could smell it through the car.
You can smell it. You could smell the arm, but she was covered in ticks.
Oh, yeah.
I had a field day with that, but covered in ticks. And we were able to rush back and get her to our vet immediately.
Yep.
And then come to find out, they were like, yeah, we actually have to contain the infection in her arm. If we go in and try to amputate now, there could be an infection at the base of her bone. It's just going to keep on spreading. So we have to contain it. That, I think, was one of the roughest I think it was like a week.
Cast off, just backtracking to the vet, taking the cast off and seeing it.
Oh.
I don't know how much we could show on YouTube.
No, we probably can't show it.
Maybe just with a lot of sensor bars and stuff. It was brutal. So what had happened?
Come to find out after talking to the animal control officer.
They had been investigating the property for a while on dog fighting. Lady was chained up in the backyard with some of the other dogs, being used to breed fighting dogs. Their guess is that one of the dogs got off their chain and attacked Lady and absolutely demolished her arm. I mean,
it was like essentially
not much
ripping
left.
her bicep out is what it was.
Yeah, of her arm. But, Lady was able to get out. I think, ripping through her arm, maybe she was tied up like that. I don't know, or the state came up, but Lady basically dragged herself off of the property onto the road, and that's where this animal control officer found her. So he was able to get Lady to us. But obviously a really rough start for Lady there. But yeah, getting her cleaned up at the vet. To this day, maybe one or two dogs that we've taken in that I think have been in worse shape from a physical trauma standpoint that I can think of.
Yeah.
But Lady was way up there.
Yeah. Oh, well, and it just, pits get such a bad rep, but they're such resilient dogs and so sweet. Man. Lady, for a week or week and a half, we had to change her bandage every single day and clean it out and rewrap and put ointment on it. And the whole time she's just sitting there licking my face, licking my forehead, not just cuddly.
Even at the vet, day one, you guys know, good vets will muzzle dogs for their own safety and the dog's safety.
Yeah.
They didn't feel the need to muzzle Lady.
Yeah.
A dog in that condition,
she did feel like crap.
Yeah, but a dog in that condition being handled on the injury site to not redirect at a human.
Yeah.
Like pits really, they never cease to amaze me.
Some of the sweetest dogs we've ever had in our rescue have been
the
pits.
capacity for love and trusting humans and forgiveness that pits have is unreal. Yeah. Lady knew people were trying to help.
Yeah. So, a whole week and a half or 2 weeks, however long it was that we had to clean out. And
our quarantine area was not as nice.
No, it wasn't as nice. So excuse the footage. But we did have to keep her separated.
Yeah.
And man, the smell that came out of that room, it was awful. It was so awful. I will never forget that smell. Yeah. But, once she was cleared for surgery, and we took that arm off. Mm-hmm. Oh man, her little personality just came out. Yeah. She felt so much better. And she was hopping around on her little 3 legs and clearing sofas, jumping off of things, on top of things. And
we always tell people, if you've never had a tripod, I know a lot of people feel bad for dogs that have lost an arm. Tripods are awesome. Dogs aren't like humans. I know humans, there's an emotional attachment to limbs as well.
Yeah.
dogs, you remove something like that that's causing them so much pain and discomfort, they
They're like,
adapt to be
"Oh,
just like, oh, sweet,
good."
this is easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lady picked up immediately.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was just the happiest puppy on the planet.
Yeah.
She was with us for a year and a half.
I think she was with us for a year.
A year?
Yeah, because we got her when we were in McKinney, and then she moved with us to this piece of property, and we quickly found out that Lady loved puppies.
Which Lady, obviously, coming from the situation she was in, wasn't great with dogs.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of dogs in that spot we found, we got her to the point she could share space and go on walks, but when a dog would invade
she
her
was
space,
like, no.
it was kind of this fight or flight mode that kicked in. Being used to breed fighting dogs, being a mama, we didn't plan on introducing her to a puppy, but we just had this puppy at the time, Millie, who found a great home also, but walking by Lady a few times and Lady perked up.
Like her little body wiggle.
And it was really good body language. And we were like, okay, well, you know, we haven't really found a friend in the house for Millie yet, so let's introduce the two. And they immediately like went nuts. Lady was so
It was almost like
sweet.
Millie was too much for Lady.
Yeah.
Like Millie still, I mean, she was a
Millie
10-week
was a
old.
lot, too.
Yeah, she was like a 10-week-old pit lab mix puppy that was just jumping all over Lady, and Lady was so gentle with her. It was so great to see that side of Lady because we hadn't seen that side of her.
Yeah.
But her revenge tour will be definitely one of our favorites. We did get her a prosthetic leg to see how she would adapt to it.
She hated it.
It does take a while for a dog to adapt to a piece of plastic or, you know, whatever it is that's like strapped onto them. And it's very well made.
Yeah.
It just requires a lot of repetition and usage. And the first time that we put her in it, we didn't even post the video because we're like, people are going to have a fit that we're laughing.
I think at this point I have. It was pretty
funny.
funny.
Yeah. But initially we were like, oh no, like the internet's going to have it. And we put it on and, you know, we gift it to her. We present it to her. We're so excited. We're like, look. And we strap her into it. And she literally just tipped over like a cow and just, she rolled onto the grass and, you know, just the arms sticking out like this. And she would walk on it a few, you know, take a few steps, and she just seemed kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe we could have done a better job at repetition with her,
Yeah.
but she was ripping around so great without it.
It was more something in her case to save her in the future.
Yeah.
You know, like
As
take
she
a
gets
little bit of
older.
stress off, and it's something in the back pocket of her adopters.
Yeah.
Because she did end up finding an awesome home down the line. We actually at some point during this, she had a really awesome foster family for a couple weeks. I think maybe months, couple weeks. I think it was a couple weeks. But yeah, she had an awesome foster family for a couple weeks there, and they did some photo shoots and some fun stuff with her. So shout out to them. They were great. And then
They had themed photo shoots.
themed photo shoots. Yeah.
They were so great.
But yeah, Lady was with us for a year.
Yeah.
And we ended up getting an app that looked really good on paper. It was a single guy at the time. He's engaged now with a young son. And we brought them over for the meet and greet at their place. And Lady fell in love with this kid immediately.
It was so cute.
She was
literally
obsessed
like,
with
she
this
was
little
like,
kid.
you two can leave now.
Yeah, she was absolutely obsessed with this little kid.
Yeah.
I remember about a month into the adoption, we reached out and we were getting an update. She said, Lady just waits for him every day after school. Like she'll wait by the door and you know greet him at the front as he comes home. So it's awesome to get updates like that.
Yeah, it makes it all worthwhile. All the, you know, crying and stress and late night worries and heart palps. It makes it worth it when we get those types of updates on our pups, especially one that suffered so much her first few years of life.
And an equally awesome update. It was the week Lady was adopted. We actually got a text message from the animal control officer, but he sent us a text the week she got adopted and, you know, congratulated us and Lady, and he wanted to let us know that the individuals involved in running the dog fighting ring were actually all arrested and convicted. They did end up getting them.
Yep.
Which makes Lady's revenge tour the ultimate revenge tour. Not just finding a family, recovering, but getting some justice, which we really rarely see in what we do. It's unfortunate, but it's hard. It's really hard, you know, to get anything done with a lot of these abuse cases. There's not a lot of funding for it, and you know, I understand it's tricky we have our own personal opinions on how things could be done better, but
yeah, the law's not set up in favor of the animal.
No.
So to get a win like this was really, really special.
It was
so
pretty awesome.
her revenge tour will be one of our favorites for sure.
Yep. Top 5 all time. Love Ladybug. Yeah. That is Ladybug's Revenge Tour. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you next time.